Thanks for tuning in to the Vintage Cinema Review. On this week's episode, we're covering from 1986, Rad.
You know, there are good Hollywood 80s movies and there are bad Hollywood 80s movies. This one is the latter.
I don't know, man. As Hock would say, I'm ready to break the ice on this one.
Ooh. Yeah. Speaking of which, we got special guest Hock. What'd you think of Rad?
It was fun. It was nostalgic, but overall quality of the movie,
Well, we hope overall quality of our show is good. Speaking of which, if it is, leave that 5-star rating on Spotify, Apple. You can leave a written review. And sit back, relax, and enjoy from 1986, Rad. Hey, this is Dave.
Matt.
And Zap.
And welcome to the Vintage Cinema Review.
Where every week we review some of our favorite films from the past.
Hey, there ain't no late fees here.
Silence is golden. And be kind. Rewind.
Hey, what's up, dudes?
What's going on, man?
How's it going, man?
That's pretty cool, man. This is like a radical evening down here tonight.
It is. You know, it's extra radical today. There seems to be a fourth member amongst us.
extra radical.
What's up, Hock?
What's up, guys?
Yeah, it's got Hock in the basement.
Welcome back, Hocker.
Thank you for having me again.
No doubt. Thanks for being here.
Hock's so nice. We had him on twice.
That's right, man. So Rad, actually, Matt and I were lucky enough to go see this at the theater a couple weeks ago. So that would have been like, what, March 21st was Rad Day across the country. Zap was camping. Actually, Zap and Hock were both camping.
Yeah, they were
That's
both
correct. Yeah.
So, or they could have been there too, I guess.
In the wild.
Next year, maybe.
The wilderness.
Yeah,
What was it, the 35th, 34th anniversary?
It came
or
out in
something?
86. I'm not
Quick
good at
math, Zap. Come on. So we have you here.
I don't know. No.
So it would have been 28 years, I think.
28.
Is that right?
No, 38.
38.
That was 15 years to my math.
My math says 2 years ago. It's
All
2
right.
years ago. But yeah, anyway, Rad, 1986, runtime, hour and 31 minutes. This was distributed by TriStar Pictures. Can you believe that? They distributed.
I actually can.
You can.
I actually can. I have a little fun fact about that.
Well, what, TriStar? Or?
Yeah.
Okay. They didn't try hard enough, I guess.
Mm.
But release date, March 21st, 1986 to be exact. And this was directed by Hal Needham. Remember him? Hal Needham did another stinker, Cannonball Run.
2.
Yeah.
That was
And 2? Part 2?
Yes. and
that
2.
was one of the comparisons I was going to make.
Okay.
No, Cannonball, that was a stinker.
Yeah.
Cannonball Run 2. I don't even know there was. Yeah, there was a 2.
I was trying to think which movie stunk more, this one or Cannonball Run.
Yeah.
Cannonball Run.
Yeah. Sorry, Nutley
Damn
Nick.
minds.
I don't think Nutley Nick's going to be listening, but sorry anyhow, because like, he doesn't even know this movie. I asked him about it.
You don't even know.
You don't even know.
Nutley Nick is 74 years old.
He might be.
He's 127 years
He's
old.
127 years old.
Yeah. Written by Jeffrey Edwards and Sam Bernard and produced by Robert L. Levy. Budget on this, $3 million. Box office, $2 million.
Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah.
No, that's
What he said.
Yeah. That's not that's a loss.
that is a loss.
Yeah.
Instead of breaking the ice, they broke the bank.
Yeah, pretty much.
$1 million lost on this.
So filming
Treasure.
dates. Yeah, right. A treasure. So filming dates on this August 7th, 1985
To August 8th.
to August 7th, 1985, 4:30 p.m. No. October 1st, believe it or not. August to October 1st, 1985, and they filmed it in Calgary, Alberta, Canada.
Thanks, Canada.
Yeah, it's up there in Canada again.
That's one thing about this movie, seeing it looks so cold there. Like they were mostly in t-shirts and stuff, trying to act like it was like, I don't know if the summer or whatever, but there was like the leaves were falling off the trees.
Yeah, they messed. Yeah, I know. What you mean.
It was very cold. It's very cold there.
I think they actually had to paint. Fun fact: they had to paint some of the leaves.
Like greenish?
Yeah, I think it was something like that. Yeah,
How was that even in the budget?
yeah. You wonder. I think this had $3 million is a good budget for.
Yeah, you're right.
1986.
For 86. And
With a
what
bunch
the-
of with bikes, pretty
Yeah.
much. You didn't have to get much for it.
Yeah.
With mostly B actors.
Yeah, well,
Hey, lay off of Lori Loughlin.
speaking of which, I guess we should turn it over to Zap for the cast.
Yeah, since we're starting to
Here
talk
we
about
go.
these muchachos. The cast of Rad includes, but is not limited to, Bill Allen as Crew Jones, Lori Loughlin as Christian Hollings, Talia Shire as Mrs. Jones, Ray Walston as Burton Timmer, Alfie Wise as Elliot Dole, Jack Weston as Duke Best, Bart Connor playing the part of Bart Taylor, Marta Kober as Becky, Jamie Clark as Luke, Laura Jacoby as Wesley Jones, H.B. Haggerty as Sergeant Smith, Chad Hayes as Rex Reynolds, and Carrie Hayes as Rod Reynolds. There are two that I neglected to include on this list. My bad, but I will at least later on talk about the parts they portrayed.
Okay. Nice. So I guess that's it for the cast then. So we'll turn over to Matt for a brief synopsis.
A brief synopsis of the movie Rad. A movie of breathtaking action, by the way, according to Archie Weinstein of the New York Post.
That touchy-feely guy?
I think he's Harvey's brother.
Yes.
He started the whole Me Too BMX movement of the mid 80s.
Yeah.
Crew Jones, Bill Allen, is the best BMX biker in Cochrane. He's got the talent to become the best BMX daredevil in the world. As the local paperboy, he jumps, spins, twists, and flips his bike with amazing ability. Bart Connor is the best BMX biker in the world, and he's in town to race for the $100,000 Hell Track competition, the most grueling BMX race in history. For the first time in his life, Crew has to make his own decisions. He decides to go to Hell Track, but Jack Weston, the race promoter, has a dirty scheme for keeping the local whiz kid out of the race and away from his prize champion. Only the gorgeous Lori Laughlin, a member of the opposite team, can get Allen on track for Hell Track and teach him a few other things while she's at it.
Mm-hmm.
Color, 94 minutes, PG, hi-fi stereo. Rad.
All that good stuff. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they printed all that on the back of a VHS tape?
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
God damn.
What did they mean Lori Laughlin was going to teach him a few other things while she's at it?
Yeah.
What's that
Find
supposed
out.
to mean?
That's the uncut.
Yeah.
You'd think you would see that in a remastered version, but I
Actually,
didn't see any of
you
that.
guys are like making, I think Lori Laughlin was up for like a best supporting actress for this.
I don't know.
I don't know what you guys, such haters.
Yeah.
And then they have an Olympic, I'm not even getting into that.
Bart.
Bart.
Not Simpson,
Yeah.
No.
Connor.
So I guess it's time to steer through the movie here, Hock.
You ready?
You ready?
Let's do it.
All right.
let's
We're
do it.
steering through. All right. So if anyone didn't already know, this movie is about freestyle BMX and BMX racing. Again, if you didn't catch that from the montage of varying freestyle BMXers showcasing their skills for the full 3 minutes and 15 seconds of the opening song, Break the Ice.
Gonna break the ice.
I thought it could have been
entire
longer. It should have been longer than
Should
that.
have been longer.
Christ.
I think
It should have had
everybody-
9 minutes.
It is a 10-year-old or 11-year-old. When I remember seeing it as a kid, I think I rewinded it back a few times.
To watch.
Yeah.
So you could try it with
Yeah,
your own
some
bike.
tricks.
Yeah.
Well, beyond that, yeah, the bikes just were cool. I mean, it was
Yeah,
a session
Haros.
back then, you know.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, how often you went like got outside, you did like a endo and then like kicked your back tire, go
Right.
backwards on your back peg. It's awesome.
I remember. So as I'm watching
all
this
tried it.
montage, this again, the whole song, not even a piece of it. It's the whole goddamn song. I had completely forgotten about fork standers. So there are
Pegs?
there are pegs, but then there are fork standers. So the pegs,
yeah.
the pegs are where the wheel attaches to the fork.
Oh, the forks, the
Yeah,
two that come out the
that
side.
flip
If
down,
you get
yeah.
your shin caught on.
Yeah, out of the side of the
Yeah.
front fork, like halfway up the fork, those are fork standers.
Mhm.
I completely forgot about those, but yeah, for damn sure that was a thing.
Yeah, I got some things I wrote down for the fun facts that hopefully I'll blow your mind, or maybe like spark a memory for you guys back in the day.
I am sure you will blow our
I
mind.
Some
hope
bike
so.
bike accessories.
Today, like if I would try those moves, I'd break my leg instead of breaking ice.
100%. So our story begins with a group of 3 friends, all of whom are paper boys, that is to say 2 boys, 1 girl, doing their daily deliveries on their bikes, performing every possible freestyle maneuver, delivering newspaper in the most parkour of fashions. The lead paperboy and protagonist of this movie is named Crew Jones.
You make it sound really old like that when you're like in the parkour of fashions.
So parkour, right? Parkour is where you know parkour, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So these guys are
So-
just delivering newspapers, but not just delivering newspapers.
You got to do like a front flip to like a twisty turn to like a wheel slide to throw a paper.
The one trick he did, he delivered the newspaper to the guy who started coming. Came out and he was shaking his fist. I said, not in the garden. I put one on the front porch. The dude swung his bike around and was riding backwards, and then he swung back around again to ride forwards. That was cool, man.
That was cool. Yeah,
I like that.
It kind of reminded me of that Rube Goldberg stuff.
Correct.
Yeah, where he's
That's exactly what I think.
Doing an insane amount of stupid things just to get one simple thing done.
Yeah, you gotta.
So in this whole thing, there's a couple of scenes here. One of them was this mom driving these two kids around, and it's like she's looking in the back, and the one kid. So how did she miss completely?
Him landing on the hood.
The paper boy rolling down her windshield. But he wiped out and ended up rolling down her windshield. Somehow she missed that.
Yeah, I don't know. What do you think, Hock?
Hollywood.
Okay.
Plausible.
Suspend disbelief.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know that garbage truck and dumpster scene, that was just too much.
It was. I wanted to say that you talk about like, I know a lot of guys that delivered papers over the years. I used to help them do it, even when we were on a bike and whatnot. Like, I just thought it was great, cutting through yards and everything timed out perfectly. Dump truck sitting there waiting for him, like John said, pick him up, put him over the fence. Like,
one thing I noticed in the
Hollywood.
beginning of this movie was the sky was off, and even when we went to the theater to see it, Matt and I went and saw it, the remastered version, the sky color. Did you notice that?
Was it red?
It was red,
but it was like didn't look natural.
It didn't look like a real sky.
Something looked like way off. And then in the next scene, it's blue, and then the next scene is back to this weird color.
It's like different days of filming, though. I think one day, like, they're filming the same scene that they cut the night before, and it's overcast. The next day, the day before, it was like sunny and
maybe
like 78 degrees. The next day, it's cloudy and 62.
It's tough to get rid of that. But what's that old saying? Like, red sky at night, sailor take flight. Red sky in the morning,
sailor's warning.
Sailor take warning. So it was the morning.
One other thing I noticed that 7-Eleven, there was a bike out front. It says like win this bike, like a raffle almost.
Nice.
And they just had the bike sitting out front of that. You couldn't do that at 7-Eleven where I grew up.
Not even close.
You're not letting the bike sit out there, it'd be gone. Like it was like a raffle bike, you know what I mean? I was just laughing at that. I'm like, it was a nice mongoose, I think it was sitting out there.
That town's small enough that you see somebody riding around with that bike, you're going to know where he got it.
Like you stole it, yeah.
But what I mentioned to Dave, too, is back in the 80s like that, the guy working at 7-Eleven, he was like wearing a tie, button-up shirt.
Oh, yeah.
He had like a pair of dress shoes on.
Oh, hell yeah.
Like, people took pride in their jobs back then.
Yes.
I never seen anybody at 7-Eleven dressed like that anymore.
Nope.
They would wear like a smock. Is that what you call it?
A smock.
7-Eleven
Yeah, because they didn't want to get like stuff on them because they're always working. They're like picking up stuff,
chili, cheese,
making coffees,
throwing hot dogs at people.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Oh, so we've also seen a lumberyard chase, which I thought was wow.
Yeah.
I actually could see the ramp.
the planks.
Yeah, so he's supposed to be riding up these logs and doing whatever, but no, he's riding up a plank. You can actually see him riding up a plank.
Yeah.
There was just some bad mixes. Did anybody notice the blatant Kix cereal product placement in this?
And the 2% milk.
Several times.
Was there 2% milk back in the 80s like that? I don't remember anybody drinking like
that's a whole milk era. Yeah, there was no 2%.
But I didn't.
It's Canada.
Hippies.
Oh, true. Yeah, they were ahead of it,
Canada.
I guess. Yeah, right. It's Canada. But I was looking. I'm like, who used 2% milk? Like, I didn't even know about any of that stuff back in the day.
I took my son to see this also, and Dave took his son. But my son was asking me during the one part where it was in the lumberyard. He was like, "Why would they ask the cop to chase him?" And I was like, "I don't know." And the cop looked like he was from The Hills Have Eyes.
Yeah, that dude. Yeah, he was weird looking.
Yeah, Sergeant Smith. He looked a little odd.
He was definitely
bald. He looked like Sloth if Sloth was a normal dude.
And a cop.
So were those guys hanging out like in the office there? Like, was that their like
clubhouse?
Yeah.
Or
Like
when they were eating Kix?
Yeah. Did they break in there and like use it as a clubhouse?
I don't know. It could be somebody's shed. Could be whatever.
I think it was where like the people worked at the lumberyard. They just made it into like their fort or something, or maybe I don't know.
Could have been.
I was wondering about that.
As we move along, we meet Duke Best, owner of Mongoose Racing and president of the Federation of American Bicycles, who's come to town with his traveling crew of BMX racers, promoting Hell Track, a traveling BMX race to the finish with a grand prize of $100,000 and a Corvette. In a nonchalant effort to attract the attention and excitement of the locals, Duke Best offers a $10,000 prize and a chance to race with the sponsored BMX professionals to any local who wins a locals-only race around the Hell Track.
Hell Track even sounds scary.
Yeah,
like
Hell
I get
Track.
nervous when I talk about it.
Yeah, he didn't really want to do that, but it sounded like, if I remember, they were trying to, like, one of the townspeople were like, hey, like, what about,
Won't someone please think of the children? Think of the locals. The one older lady who reminds me of like Florence Henderson. She sits up and she says, "Hey, well, this is really going to make their local kids feel bad if they're just watching other kids their age riding their bikes. What if they want to ride their bikes? What can we do to get them to ride their bikes?"
And it looked like somebody was mouthing 20,000, and he was like 10,000.
Yeah,
he was like always trying to
Duke Best's shitty little sidekick.
Yeah, this Jack Weston guy that played Duke Best, I think he was 36 years old when they filmed this movie.
That's an 80s, 30.
I think he was like 36 or 38. I wasn't quite sure if it was a 6 or an 8 when I read it, but he was a young man.
Yeah. It's amazing. When you look at these actors, and like I was looking back at that too, the years they were born. Christ, did these people look old? I mean, Christ.
I know.
It's sad, man.
That's always the way it is.
It's bad food back then.
I blame aftershave. I blame alcoholic
beverages.
No, alcohol-based creams and lotions.
The doctors would be smoking cigarettes, delivering babies.
Yeah, why they're ashing on the head when it's coming out.
Hell yeah.
My doctor was on cocaine. He was actually arrested.
He did a line off you.
I'll call my mom right now. It's a true story.
Are you serious?
While you were
Yes.
being born?
No, yeah, well, he was high when I was being born, but he was arrested like 2 weeks later
Man, we was
for
getting
high. for drug charges. He was selling and doing like a lot of drugs. I'll call my mom. It's a great
What kind of
story.
doctor?
opiates.
It's
In
a doctor in
Middletown?
the 70s, man.
In Middletown?
Dr. Nick
No, it was in
Riviera.
Harrisburg Hospital.
Oh, in the hospital.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Dr. Nick.
You might have been delivered by the same guy.
Could have been, yeah.
Damn.
I guess, yeah.
He's like, saying, "Come on, lady, let's go. I gotta hurry up. Let me get this kid."
Yeah, it
they put
was-
like forceps in and fuck my forehead all up. It's a true story.
I also wonder, like with Mongoose, I'm surprised that they allowed them to use their name and likeness and all that in this movie, because they make the CEO or whoever this guy is out to be like kind of an ass.
Yeah, but the name Mongoose is repeated.
Yeah, it's
so
just
many
free.
countless
Yeah,
times.
it's free advertising.
I get all that, but I'm just saying. the
Well,
way
kids
they're
don't care about that.
Yeah,
Like, you know what I mean?
true,
like,
true.
oh, he's like a bad guy, but that mongoose bike is super awesome.
But
Yeah.
Dave, I see your point. It's like, well, wait, that guy's a bad guy and he represents Mongoose.
Right.
I'm not going to get a Mongoose.
Yeah, I want to ride for,
I'm going to get a GT or a Haro or
Haro.
whatever.
Yeah, it was only like
Right.
Haro, Dino, GT, and
Redline.
Mongoose. Redline was big.
right. Or Stu Thompson.
The founder of
Huffy.
Wendy's.
I remember Stu
Huffy.
Thompson. They were
Huffy.
Oh, Huffy.
they were
black.
white, black, and red.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was their race. That was the guy that like raced for him. or
Correct. He
whatever.
was a
Yeah.
racer. Like, well, not for nothing. What's his name? Haro. He was a
He
racer.
was a racer too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bob Haro or something.
Bob Haro is
Bob
correct.
Yeah,
Haro,
Bob Haro.
Yeah.
I think the Stu Thompson had like you push back on your foot to stop it, like that
You
kind of
could.
brake,
It
like a
was
foot brake.
It had both. It had a single rear back brake.
It had
I
'em all.
think,
Oh,
and,
shit.
I think
So it was the space balls of
it's
of
more.
bikes.
It was more like the cross country style BMX versus a trick style.
I got you. It had them both,
And you know it.
and you know it.
All right. Well, moving along, we're soon introduced to Wesley, Crew's bratty little sister, and Mrs. Jones, Crew's single mother, who wants him to have nothing to do with BMX and for him to instead focus on his studies, the forthcoming SATs, and getting into college.
I think the single mom thing was to like pull on your heartstrings a little
Yeah.
bit. You had to
Maybe.
feel bad for Crew and his
How did
sister.
his dad die? Or
Did they ever say?
did
He was
leave?
trying to do a backflip on his BMX bike.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, and it was horrible.
Okay. We also meet Burton Timmer, a local entrepreneur who's done well for himself and is invested in the financial benefit of the Hell Track race that'll bring to the town. Despite his age, he too rides a 20-inch BMX bike. Now, this is the guy from My Favorite Martian.
Yes.
And he's rolling in with his coffee and his Danish and whatever. Every morning he gets hit with a newspaper. He's riding a 20-inch BMX.
Yeah,
Doesn't make any sense to me.
that was funny.
He was actually 48 when they filmed this
Yeah,
movie.
he might have been. He was in Fast Times.
Yes.
140. Yeah, it was Mr. Hand.
Mr.
That's
Henry.
right.
The bike looked like one of those like Murray,
Like a
hybrid.
beach cruiser.
Yeah.
It sat a little higher with the.
They were like, I think the
The handlebars
29-inch rims on them.
That's a huge rim. Dude.
No, the 29 and a half inches were those bikes.
So
Oh, the size.
The size of the bike tire was 29 and a half inches on the one that he was riding. It wasn't a 20-inch BMX tire.
I don't think that's how it's measured. I think the measure of the 20 inch is the distance from the front joint where the steering wheel goes to like the back something. Like the basic, it might be
from
like
the neck to the rear.
yeah,
mount.
the something like maybe the neck to the seat.
I always thought like it was like a 20-inch tire, 24,
26,
26, and a 29.
I always thought it was wheel size.
Wheel size.
That's what I thought. I don't know though.
Look, we might need to mailbag that one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure.
Please do.
I'm pretty sure it's a frame measurement, but what the fuck do I know?
Or is it from ground level to?
That's what I think.
Seat
Oh,
post
could be that.
mount, where the ground to where the seat.
Yeah, that'd be higher than 29 inches.
The seat. I see. Hawk, you might be right. That
don't know, though.
the ground to where the seat post would go into the frame.
But wouldn't the tire be that size to where the post is? I don't know.
Oh yeah. Wait a minute, Mr. Postman.
This reminds me of do you measure from under the nutsack to like the tip, or do you?
No, you go right under the nutsack.
And you gotta pull. You can definitely pull that sack.
It's at least 9.5 inches if you measure a certain way.
Yeah.
Depends. Yeah.
It depends.
It depends. All right. Well, the traveling BMX professionals arrive and the town throws a parade. We're introduced to Bart Taylor, BMX champion and poster boy for Mongoose Racing. The Reynolds twins, Rex and Rod, who are also on Team Mongoose, and the two chicks I didn't mention earlier, the two actors, Foxy and Tiger, two textbook 80s groupie whores who travel with Team Mongoose.
Hey, watch your language over there.
Yeah.
I thought they were amazing.
Yeah, they were amazing. All right.
And this is the point where it reminds me of like Karate Kid on bikes.
Yeah.
Because he's your
Pretty much,
Johnny
yeah, it's switched. It's switched
Absolutely.
quick.
Absolutely. And this is where we're also introduced to Christian Hollings, a female BMX racer with the traveling team who locks eyes with Crew Jones, and it's love at first sight.
She's a criminal.
Which was so goddamn cheesy. So cheesy. She's sitting in her car as
It's an 80s movie.
as Crew is opening the gate for that chick, that one woman who
nice guy.
who he's such a nice boy. She was 22.
For somebody who likes John Hughes movies, how can you say that part was cheesy?
That was ridiculous cheesy. Like that was over the top cheese.
Yeah.
Cheese.
Yeah.
No?
Hocker comes in with a yeah.
It's like-
What'd you think, Hock?
Yeah, what did you think,
Hock?
Hocker?
Yeah, when he moves the block out of the road, lets the lady go by, locks eyes, music's all like, he freezes, and then he like bitches out and pedals away real quick.
Don't bitch. I was being a gentleman.
It was fear.
This is
And
fear.
then again, he's in high school. So how old is he? 17?
Supposed to be
She's-
17.
She's sponsored by Mongoose. She's got to be in her 20s.
yeah.
Shit.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Intimidated. You know?
Remember that part? Dave and I were watching that when the two girls came to Crew.
And he was like, "Get out of my way.
He's like, "Get out of my way!
I gotta go talk about bikes."
Gotta go talk to." That was
that's-
later on in the movie,
later
but
in the
it
movie,
was it was a great part.
Yeah.
The two whores.
Yeah,
Where's priorities
he was
are
afraid
at.
of what they knew,
Right.
what they could do with him.
I mean, if I'm 17, screw the bike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he did. That's the R-rated version.
But he literally, screw the
He
bike.
does screw his bike,
On
and
the 4K release.
that's a rad too. Getting radical.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's a dance tonight at the local high school, and even the BMX champions have arrived to showcase their moves. These are the out-of-towners that show up at a high school dance.
Yeah.
All right.
What's up with that?
So Team Mongoose hits the floor and wows the crowd. Christian sees Crew and calls him onto the dance floor to dance with their bikes to the tune of Send Me an Angel.
What
And
was
at
up?
the end of the bike dance, Crew rides off like Cinderella,
Again.
leaving Princess Charming, little Christian there behind.
Yeah. What was
So-
up with those outfits?
The outfit, the twins?
Yeah, more
Rod and
like
Rex.
Morgan
Oh my
Mindy.
God, dude.
Do you guys know where those outfits are from?
Gray.
I know the fun fact behind this.
They're from Chess King.
Center
No,
lapel.
not from Chess King. It could be, but they're from the movie V.
Oh, yeah. V, about the lizards that would dress like human beings. They ate mice.
Yes.
Sorry, I cut you off, Hock.
That
What
is
were you gonna
great.
What were you gonna say
I was
about
going to say
that?
this dance that they went to. There was like 10 people there.
Oh, yeah, it was kind of lame. It was a
Like,
small
it's a
town,
high
though.
school dance.
True.
You know, the BMX kings of the world are there.
That
It
was
like,
creepy
it
as
was like
fuck.
a 10-person show. You know, was it invite only? Was it everybody?
You would
could
think
go?
other schools would be showing up trying.
You'd
It's
think somebody'd be like, "Oh my gosh!"
It was like a
Bart's
McDevitt
here,"
dance.
and, you know,
yeah, like
Nobody's
XL,
there.
like XL's there.
Oh, you remember XL?
I do remember
Yeah.
XL. I had a
I
T-shirt.
went to that concert.
I was there too. Yeah.
I'm not ashamed to
Screwface
say.
opened for them.
Hell yeah, they did.
We were standing there watching the band play real quick, XL, and they had the power plugged in right at the bottom of the steps at McDevitt at the bottom. Of the
Yeah, I
stairs.
remember that.
And somebody knocked the power out.
That was me.
In the middle of the thing, and it all
That
went
was me.
dead.
You did that.
I knocked out the one
That
plug.
was you, seriously?
Yeah, that was me. I've actually
remember that
mentioned that.
happened.
I've mentioned that fact on a different podcast.
I remember I had on a backward Cleveland Indians hat, and the one guy came up, the guitarist, like came up the steps, grabbed my hat, like put it on, and I was like, "Oh man, what are you doing?" It's like, what's this guy doing? Give me my hat back.
Yeah, dude, you're not Eddie Van Halen. I'm not impressed.
Yeah, it wasn't cool, man.
Thought he signed it and ruined it.
XL.
So if it wasn't creepy enough that these out-of-town bikers, the out-of-town BMXers, the champions or whatever, the Mongoose team, that wasn't creepy enough that they showed up at this dance. I mean, did anyone notice the creepiness of the old men spiking the punch at this high school dance?
Well, that's an 80s move.
Yeah, they don't even have punch bowls anymore.
No,
Always.
it's an 80s move for other teenagers to spike the punch.
Yeah.
It's kind of a weird, creepy thing when old men are there spiking the punch that other kids are going to be drinking.
Well, who was that Weinstein you said in the beginning?
Yeah.
Hey,
Must have been one of his movies.
See?
It
Yeah.
is a little suspect.
It is, though.
Curious, Bart, the blonde, the dude,
Yeah.
did anyone notice that him and that one horse choreography were basically like the first iteration of the Macarena?
Yes.
Yeah.
They were doing the cross the chest thing and the hip thrust and the whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, there were certain dance sequences in there reminded me of like Robert Palmer videos.
Yes.
And
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that scene, the whole Semi Angel boogieing on the BMX bikes, that's iconic.
Do you know that band where they're from? The band that does that song,
Norway.
Send Me an Angel. What country they're from?
Norway.
I just find it
Sweden.
interesting.
High Spire.
No, High Spire. No. I think they moved there after their success. No, they're from Australia.
Huh.
I couldn't really sense that in
Aborigines.
yeah. And you know, sometimes you can pick up a little bit of an accent, but I didn't notice that accent at all.
If you say.
Yeah.
So pick me an alligator.
All right. So am I the only one? Did anyone else notice that? So during that slow motion bike scene between Lori Loughlin and what's his name, did anyone notice? Obviously, we certainly all know that Lori Loughlin is not riding a 20-inch BMX bike like a BMX champion. Like anybody can pedal a bike, I get that, but she's not doing the tricks, right?
Oh, I know exactly where you're going.
Did
Go
anyone
ahead with
notice
this.
Did anyone notice that goddamn black mask that was over her face?
Well, that and the bulge.
Did you see the dude bulge in her white pants?
I did not see that.
She had like a dude's body. You're like, what the hell happened there?
I was too worried about seeing this. Why is she wearing a black mask? And she looked like she was coming out of the gas chamber mask.
Go ahead, Hock.
It was awful.
Hock got something to add.
It's a specific part of that scene that he's talking about where she's riding away like this, and you could see the silhouette as a dude, and it was this terrible mask on it to like emulate the back of her hair. It was so
I had to
obvious.
go look for that.
I mean, and you also notice anytime they were doing tricks, you never saw their face.
No, yeah,
Correct.
they're always facing away.
Including Bill Allen. And I'm pretty sure he didn't do any of it, but
No.
They said the only stunt he did in this whole movie was when he wrecked through the fence in the beginning of the Hell track that had the advertisement.
Yeah.
the slide thing.
And
Right
actually,
across the street from 7-Eleven.
right. And actually, they said that they had to have guys with strings to pull the slats up so that he didn't
He
actually
would get
hit it.
hurt,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I got to go back and watch that for the mask now.
I'm telling you, there was a black mask, not mimicking the back of a person's hair. I'm saying on the rider's face.
Yeah. I was distracted because Matt and I were in the theater joking like that's a guy's ass, like, you know, and you could because you could see she had white pants on, and we were like,
you see her figure like when she gets up to like ride, she's standing up, and all of a sudden you see like a dude's butt.
Yeah, dick swinging.
Like what the hell?
That's messed up, man.
Yeah.
That's real
Like come
messed
on,
up.
come on. There was other parts too, like her when they were riding somewhere, like her wig would go like sideways when she like do a jump. You're like, come on.
It was like that Spaceballs, and they did the stunt, you know, and then they break character, and they should have got with the mustache and beard and stuff. That's the princess, you know. In the
Oh
stunt
yeah,
scene.
yeah. But she's smoking a cigar.
Yeah.
or he's smoking a cigar.
Right.
Hawk, did you fancy the bike dance sequence?
Oh, I thought it was cool, man. I mean, the song made it,
Of course.
you know.
Send me an angel. Despite the lousiness of this movie, that was by far and away my favorite and probably only liked part of that movie. Was
really?
the dance sequence
Did you
because of that song, only because of the song.
Did you see this movie back in the day?
I did.
Okay.
I did. And I'm sure I remember loving it back in the day, thinking,
Yeah.
wow, man, that's cool as shit. Now, I can tell you that of that $2 million that was earned at the theater, not one penny of mine had anything to do with that. I did not go to the theater to see it, but I know that I saw this as a little kid.
Okay, I got you. Like in video rental or something like that. I got you.
I think I saw it on HBO.
Do you think the $2 million that was made includes like
Popcorn?
the
Yeah, right.
Rad T-shirts.
placement of the sponsorships? Like Kicks and Coke was all over it.
Oh, I
Not
wonder.
to
Yeah.
mention Mongoose, Haro, Kuwahara, red
Yeah.
line, everything that was contributed in.
I wonder if they just donate product or something. Yeah, I wonder if there's any monetary
It was
like
product placement. I'm sure they probably paid the studio.
That's where I think Hock is going with that.
Yeah.
So they say, hey, yeah, we did $2 million at the box office, but what, you know,
$100 grand of that was
loss.
kicks, right?
Yeah, 200 was Coke.
Right.
part of that figure, you know.
Not to be confused with the Coke that your birthing doctor was on.
Yeah, right. That Coke.
Cola.
He was on the shit, man.
Mr. Brown? Nope, not Mr. Brown.
Not Mr. Brownstone, no. The White Pony.
All right. Well, the next day, while practicing his stunts and wearing a hockey mask for protection, crew receives some freestyle pointers from Christian. Unable to control their throbbing carnal urges,
Good Lord.
the two begin to develop a relationship. It's the day of the qualifying round. Not surprisingly, Team Mongoose wins first, second, and third place. But next up is the qualifying races for the locals. And despite his mother's dislike for it, Crew races and narrowly defeats all competitors after 2 races. He's going to the championship.
Yeah, he was even taking some falls and stuff and still ended up in the
He did.
Yeah.
That was a great part. Like, that was a good montage for any kid. My son, who went to the movie with me, he's younger. He really enjoyed that part. He thought it was really cool.
When they're racing. And
Yeah.
stuff, yeah.
There's a thunder in your heart.
Every move is like
Lightning.
Yeah, that was a good
80s
jam.
montage.
It's the power you feel when you get your taste of the glory.
My God.
So,
But what Hock said with the montages in the 80s is classic.
Oh, for sure. You will never see that
have to
again.
have 'em.
That doesn't happen anymore. That's a goddamn shame.
reputable 80s movie has some kind of montage in it that you just remember about that movie.
Yeah.
They used it, though, to close a lot of gaps just to transition. But
Again, the first 3 minutes of the 90 minutes of this movie was an entire song and an entire montage.
Can we
They're filling
pay,
gaps?
Can we pay somebody to get like use their rights to their music so we can do like a montage for this on like YouTube channel? I think a ODB montage would take us like Sylvester Stallone would be over the top.
Well, we can use music. Like it doesn't have, like from this. There's one song on this fun fact, might as well spit it out now, in this movie that you cannot get anywhere other than on YouTube because they lost the recording of it. During the race scene, there's a song that plays, and the only way you can hear it is it's pieced together on YouTube, and you can hear like the crowd in the background. But the actual original recording is gone. So.
But like you see like Zap like writing some stuff down, like looking in an encyclopedia. Then he's like typing stuff up. Then he like gets mad at a paper and like throws it
down.
Yeah, and then you're in here and you're like editing. And,
Editing.
and like it like screeches and you smack the machine and stuff. And they show me like I'm at home, like on the couch watching TV, drinking a coffee.
Yeah, maybe we
It'd
could
be
do
cool.
a montage like that.
Yeah, I would dig that.
All of Matt's moves are like lightning.
I like get mad because my controller doesn't work. I like gotta go get batteries and stuff. Be awesome.
Getting back to your question about getting rights to music, look, I'm a fan of why don't we just use it and wait for somebody to sue us? Because I could use the attention.
Yeah, true.
Because a lot of the stuff we do anyway, I mean, we're using stuff off the internet. We're taking things and putting it to writing and then talking about it.
But here's the thing: when you use it, like the different places that we are can take the content down. So you risk the reward versus the risk. It's like, do you delete a whole episode or you're not able to access it because they're flagging you for copyright.
What do you think, Hock?
And it's crazy how accurate it is. Like, so our theme music is from Tsunami Experiment. And I know the Tsunami Experiment. The guy gave me the music that you do whatever I want with it as far as for theme music and all that. He owns it, but it gets flagged on YouTube all the time.
But Hock, do you think the risk is worth the reward? Do you think what do we have to lose?
An episode.
You're not going to get blood out of a stone. You're not going to get blood out of a stone.
But don't you have permission for them?
So there's like a third party that's involved that tells YouTube when this song pops up, flag it. And if this monetizes, like for his music, if it monetizes, they'll take that money away. But a lot of stuff, they'll take the video down or they'll make you take it down or whatever. They'll have lawyers that are actually like on that shit.
See, I thought that shit was over with like Napster and stuff. I thought like music is music. You can just pull it.
But it gets to a point where right now, it might not matter as much. But if you ever get to a point where you are monetizing, then they step in and take your money and stuff like that. So
Benjamins.
right.
We'll get
Should that day.
J-Dub answer this for us. 'Cause let's see what J-Dub has to say. We'll go to our lawyer for this.
As a criminal defense attorney, I'm not sure what he'd be able to provide, but I'm sure he will provide a lot more than any one of us know.
Exactly.
If we can get him to slip and fall,
Yeah.
maybe then.
It's a legit question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really think it has to do when it does monetize.
So back to the story. I don't, I'm sorry to bother you at work, but back to the story. During Crew and Christian's date in the woods, did anyone else find it funny to hear Lori Laughlin's character ask about college?
Yeah, because that scam.
Yeah, the scam with her kids.
It's hilarious. Oh, speaking of interesting, so Talia Shire, right? Actress, whatever. Playing Mrs. Jones. She's down in the basement ironing. Did anyone notice she unrolls a blanket to iron?
Yes.
I didn't notice that.
Who's ironing a fucking blanket?
That's 80s stuff, man.
Mrs.
I'm pretty sure her
Mom.
mom's probably ironed blankets. It's just something to iron.
Well, speaking of mom, according to Crew, the only thing I'm good at is riding this bike. God damn, this acting is terrible in this movie. Like just his mom's like, no, you got to stick with your studies. And come on, mom. The only thing I'm good at is riding this bike.
Right.
Really? That's all you can do is ride a bike?
And he thinks he has a shot.
Please.
And I really think I have a shot.
I don't think.
But it's an 80s movie about BMX bikes.
Yeah.
Like, it's not going to be.
It's true.
It was good for what it was at the time.
It was a
fair.
90-minute commercial for BMX.
True.
Right,
Thank
right,
you.
right.
Like Thrashin' was a 90-minute movie for skateboards.
skateboarding, yeah.
That's fair. That's absolutely fair.
Gleaming the Cube for Christian Slater.
Yeah, I
being
wonder how that
awesome.
held up. I haven't seen that in a while.
We
Pretty
might
cool.
have to put that on the list.
I
Yeah.
don't think I've ever seen that.
Gleaming
Really?
the Cube.
Yeah.
It's a pretty cool movie.
I remember liking it, but
I liked Gleaming the Cube better than Thrashin'.
yeah, I have Thrashing on DVD out there.
Nice.
Hook and the Daggers. That was the Brolin's gang or whatever.
Cloak. Oh, yeah. That was cool. Yeah. I thought you meant Cloak and Dagger.
Hook and the Dagger. Yeah.
So, fun fact, his name, he goes by Crew, but his actual birth name for this movie is Christopher.
Yeah.
You can hear Talia Shire actually addresses him as Christopher at some point. So while people call him Crew, Mama call him Christian.
Christopher.
Oh, I'm sorry, Christopher. That's right. Christian is Laurie Laughlin's character.
Okay.
You had that set up so well. And then
Failed.
it's okay. It's a good try.
All right. Well, the next day, Crew is approached by Duke Best to join Mongoose Racing, but he declines. When Crew arrives at the track for practice, he's stopped and told that he needs a sponsor. A sudden change of the rules by none other than Duke Best. And we see a concerned Mr. Timmer off in the distance, overhearing the conversation. Crew's sister thoughtfully crafts a Crew is Rad t-shirt for her brother. Motivated by this gesture, Crew and his friends use the $10,000 he'd won at the qualifying race to start a t-shirt company, Rad Racing, which gives him the sponsor he needs. Crew's and Christian's relationship grows.
Yeah, this part of the movie is frustrating for me because we have Old Dirty Basement T-shirts we can't sell. This guy's making $50,000
I know.
On-
Shit.
on T-shirts.
This
you
guy's
know what I
selling hundreds and hundreds of t-shirts.
mean? Yeah,
We don't know. I guess we haven't. Maybe the Old Dirty Basement needs a BMX
we should.
ride. Yeah.
I already saw one of our T-shirts at Community Aid.
Somebody gave it up.
I was going through. I was like, "Oh, look at that! Oh,
shit,
man,
yeah.
that hurts."
At least somebody's making
It's
money
like,
on
God
it.
damn!
So, Matt, it's actually during this segment of the movie that a part you had mentioned earlier. This is where Foxy and Tiger attempt to pick up Crew as he's walking down the street.
Yeah.
He gets all scarred.
Christ, their hair, their outfits, just so slutty.
I think they look hot as anything. Like, I'm into that 80s look. I really dig it.
I dig
like
an 80s look. This was just crap.
Where they take the T-shirt and crumble it up and cut, and then when they open it up, it has like the holes. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the snowflake.
Snowflake
shit.
stuff. Yeah, that was cool.
I remember that.
So the Crew wears this one thing. It's a sweatshirt, but he cut the sleeves off, and he cut maybe a little bit of the neck out of the sweatshirt.
Yeah,
Am I the only one that had that too? Like,
Yeah, I have
We used to
that.
wear those to the gym
shit,
Yeah, I
yeah.
have
in like
one
the
now.
90s.
I got one at Under Armour. It's just like that. She calls it my Rocky sweatshirt.
But I cut my own.
Rocky.
Hey, yo, Michelle.
Yeah.
Did yours come that way? Or did you have to cut it?
No, it came like that.
Oh,
they
see,
actually make them
that's-
like
No,
that.
that's beat.
You gotta
cut it.
cut your own, bruh. That makes you from the street.
Yeah,
That's like
true.
freshman football. Remember cutting T-shirts and using the
headband.
the sleeves as like
As-
a headband,
as
for your helmet.
Absolutely.
Remember cut off shirts like back in the 80s? Like I'd wear cut off shirts.
You
and
mean
stuff.
like Foxy and Tiger were wearing?
Yeah, but as like
Very
dudes,
similar.
I'd wear them and stuff.
My dad had like an Avia one.
Yeah, cut off.
Yeah, cut off.
Half shirt.
Yeah. But it was like he bought it like that.
I had the
like at
belly
a store.
I had one from Pony Sneakers.
Yeah, Pony.
Pony was
Pony,
dude.
Yeah. That was cool, like, but I had the belly for that back then. I don't wear one now.
I don't think I ever had the belly for any of those ever.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
I'm working on a belly built for two.
Yeah. But there were some cool styles in this movie. I like it.
Yeah,
for
Hock and I had lineman bellies.
little Buddhas and stuff.
Yeah.
But
Sure.
I like this movie for the nostalgia.
For
I know,
sure.
I know it's not a great movie,
Well,
but
I know I'm joking around about how terrible this movie is.
it is bad. I get you.
While it is bad, I certainly look back on this with a great fondness and a nostalgia, for sure.
Right.
Telling you, going to see it with my son at the theater, like you would do, like if you were young, I thought it was really cool. But like you said, it wasn't like a fantastic movie, but it was a fun watch for 90 minutes.
No, yeah, I know what you mean.
For sure. All right, our movie continues. As Mr. Timmer gets to know Duke best, he swiftly learns that this guy is a scoundrel. Lo and behold, sneaky old Duke Best changes the rules yet again. A sponsor must be worth at least $50,000.
Oh my gosh.
Well, Crew and his crew are screwed until the townsfolk rally together and raise $23,000 for him. That, along with a very generous $27,000 donation from Mr. Timmer, gets Crew to the $50,000 mark he needs.
Teamwork.
Teamwork. Old, my favorite Martian came through there.
Yeah. I was wondering the whole time, like I forgot because I haven't seen it in a while.
Yeah.
I'm like, why isn't this guy just stepping in and paying? Because he has the money. You just look at him, he looks rich, with the bow tie.
He looks
With the
rich.
bow
He does.
tie.
Yeah, I mean,
He's got that 20, his bike's chrome. It's not painted, it's chrome.
right. Just the way he was dressed. I guess you shouldn't profile like that.
That's right.
But I'm
Well,
looking at him. Like,
Wasn't he was in business or whatever with Duke Best? Like those guys were running something together, right?
Mm-hmm.
Duke Best came to town. So Mr. Timmer is the local, he's the Mr. Wealthy of the local town.
Uh-huh.
Right.
So he got a hold, I'm guessing, you could piece it together that somehow, some way, if Duke Best is coming to town, he's going to find the richest guy in town because the richest guy in town, Mr. Timmer, is going to be the one that
He can throw some backing for
he
him.
throws some
Yeah.
backing. He knows the sponsors. He knows how to corral things. He knows how to get things
Gets the
done.
neighborhood
That's right.
organized.
Right.
Gotcha.
He's like the Obama of Canada.
That's
Yeah.
what he was saying. 50% of something, though. I never saw the scene where they actually made the deal. I guess later on, towards the end of the movie, when Duke Best figures out that the old man was like
Behind
you. Yeah, he was like 50% of.
Oh,
nothing,
that's right.
you know
He's
what
like,
I mean?
yeah.
So whatever deal he had there on the back end of that, I don't know if it was tied in with the whole
Merchandise.
Bart Connor and the merchandise guy. Who knows? But
Rad Racing.
I don't know.
you can still get Rad Racing T-shirts off the internet.
You
Sweet.
can, yeah. You
I'm
definitely
getting one.
can. That's the beauty of the internet. You can get any of that cool shit.
Yeah.
I love this movie, Loverboy, with Patrick Dempsey. I don't know why. It's like,
I love the band Loverboy and the movie Loverboy.
you know, Loverboy, you know what I'm talking about?
I do not know the movie.
Extra anchovies. But I love you. And it's but he worked for this pizza shop called Senior Pizza.
Senior Pizza.
And they dress like.
He became a gigolo,
Yeah.
basically. He
But I
would get
wanted
paid to have sex delivering pizzas.
Sexy time.
I wanted a Senior Pizza T-shirt, like they wore in the movie.
Yeah.
You couldn't get that back. This is in the 90s or whatever. So I had to make it. So I went to
Wow.
the craft store. And made
Holy
it.
shit.
Yeah, that's how dedicated I
Well,
was.
you were
God
involved.
damn, you're a super fan.
That's awesome.
Because I love that movie. And I was like, yeah, that's a cool shirt. I want Senior Pizza. It looked like shit, the one I made. But now I could go online on one of these any of these T-shirt sites and get any of that shit.
So this is Senior Pizza, like Mexican pizza.
Right? They they had sombreros. And
Not like a pizza you would get at a nursing home, which is Senior Pizza.
Senior Pizza. Yeah,
No,
this
okay.
is Senior Pizza.
Senior.
It is a cool movie.
It's great.
Not as cool as the band. but it's
Loverboy,
cool,
no, working for the weekend.
Everybody's working for that weekend.
Yeah.
You can get the crew bike also on the
Mongoose,
internet.
yeah.
That Mongoose, the same exact one, all the same stuff.
So I was going to ask about that at the end, but hell, since we're talking about it. So Crew's bike was a chrome bike. It had blue tires. It had some red whatever to it. What kind of bike was that?
I believe it was a mongoose.
Mongoose.
It is a
not-
1985 Mongoose Californian.
That's what it was.
God,
Okay.
wow,
Yeah.
out of nowhere. Hock with the win.
Yeah.
Okay, 1985
I wanted
Mongoose.
What's that?
I remember I wanted one bad.
I was going to say, what
ahead.
bikes did you guys have back in the day?
I had a purple GT Pro Performer
GT.
with white mags,
Nice.
and I had the front and rear pegs.
Did you guys have like bikes like that?
No.
or-
No.
I had a Huffy.
I had a 20-inch Huffy.
Yeah, I had a
Huffy,
20-inch
okay.
Huffy that I ended up painting, and I ended up putting like all of the add-ons you could possibly imagine.
Right.
All of the pegs, the laid back seat, all of that shit. Hell, one of the things you saw in this a few times in this movie were the wheel covers that would go, the discs,
hubs, the full-on covers,
the full-on plastic covers that would go over the entire spoke of the wheels.
Right.
I had those as well.
Oh shit!
Yeah. But no, from a brand name, it was just a Huffy.
None of that shit.
What'd you have, Shay?
Well, I had, that's what he said, California. In 83, I wanted one in the worst way. My grandparents got me the Mongoose Californian, but it was 83 model. They didn't really change that much. That's why I know that bike he was riding was definitely a Mongoose. I didn't know it was a Californian for sure, but now that you confirm that, yeah, because there was other ones. There was like a Mongoose Expert and they had different like models within the line.
Well,
Super Goose was one.
I think this just answered the question then why this would have been good for Mongoose, because despite the fact that the bad guy was the head of Mongoose Racing, the good guy was riding a fucking Mongoose.
Right?
I had to go to the interweb for that answer though, because they'd never tell you in the movie what it is.
No,
and
it's
you could
unbranded.
never. Well, I don't know how it was in the theater, but when I was watching it on the TV, you couldn't make
anything out.
You
No,
couldn't see what that was.
Well, I think he had what is that? Like the ball protector guard over top of like the mongoose on the.
Yeah.
What is it? Just the wrap.
The pad.
The pad. Yeah.
It goes across the main frame. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got some cool fun facts.
Which
on
wouldn't
all
do
that
anything
shit.
at all if you actually like missed your seat and
doesn't-
landed there.
No.
Kind of did, but not
You'd
really.
still be hurting.
So in one of these parts of this movie here, the scene where the crowd the townsfolk rally together to raise money for crew, the cop stands up, the old Cochise there, he stands up, he said, look, I've chased all these kids around town, but this crew and his friends, they're special. And so all of a sudden this cop who's supposed to be, the enforcement, and you're led to believe in the beginning, this is the cop, he's just bringing the kids down. Now all of a sudden, I like these kids despite chasing them and them trespassing and doing all kinds of shit. No, I like these kids now.
Right.
Weren't bad kids.
Yeah. Bad guy becomes good then. Yeah.
I guess that they just had to look. They got an hour and a half. They had to do what they could.
Right, man.
All right. Meanwhile, back to the movie. The day of the race has arrived. Duke Best tells the Reynolds twins to take crew out during the race. Every possible racer is introduced. And finally, the race begins.
Yeah.
The action is high. The race is intense. Try though they may, the Reynolds twins' feeble attempts at stopping crew fail. Worse yet, champion Bart Taylor takes out both of the Reynolds twins, who are on his same team.
Yeah, what was up with that?
I don't get it. I just know that it
Well,
gets...
he took them
Yeah.
out because they were told to take crew out, and he wanted the race to be somewhat fair. Instead of them coming towards the end and one of them like blocking crew or not letting him get close, that's why I took him out.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, this might explain why when it's down to a one-on-one between Bart and crew.
And he stopped.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a close one, but crew ends up winning. No. All right. So anyway, Duke Best fires Bart for the Mongoose Racing, and not but a moment later, crew offers him a job at Rad Racing.
Yeah.
Now, if you go back and take a look at the movie, they say if you slow it down at the end of the race there, they say Bart actually wins the race because crew does that twisty turn at the end.
Oh,
Screwed
that's
him
right.
up.
That's right.
So, yeah, so crew is in the middle of turning, and Bart's crossing the finish line, and then crew comes in after Bart actually wins that
So they would have
race.
had replay back then. He would have won.
Yes.
Shit.
So this
A whole different
explains so much. This really explains so much. I wasn't sure why Bart stopped in the middle of the race just to wait for crew to catch up. And you're saying that there was something. How did I miss that part?
Well, he said early on when Best came over and told the twins, "Hey, you're going to take him out.
Sweep
and
the
you're going to
leg."
win." Yes, basically sweep the legs. They looked. All
This
three
is
of
pretty,
them looked
yeah, it
at
was
each
pretty
other,
much.
Yeah.
And Bart says, "Hey, that's bullshit." You know,
Mhm. I can beat him.
calling
I got
out.
him.
Yeah. So
But Bart called him up one-on-one to be like, look, this is you and I. Let's go. And that's
give
why.
you your shot.
Yeah, I give you your shot.
Hometown boy.
Yeah,
you know?
right. Yeah.
Even though Bart won.
Even though Bart did. It does
Bart
look.
won.
I wondered that when I saw it the other, because he does
Yeah.
the little
He does like a twisty turny.
See, I'm going to get a T-shirt that reads instead of Rad Racing. I'm just going to have one that reads Bart One.
Bart one.
Bart won.
won.
That's awesome.
That's good. Yeah, I like that.
So that's all I got on this one. And in fact, the only note I have on this one, we mentioned it earlier. The only thing I liked about this movie was that it was the same studio and distributor who released Real Genius, which is TriStar.
Oh, it's the same one.
Yeah,
TriStar.
TriStar.
Okay.
And that's one of Zap's faves.
100%.
That's a good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How
it is a good
about
movie.
the Talia picture thing at the beginning? Is that anything to do with Talia Shire, you think?
Oh, I saw that too. As the opening credits are going, and it's something Talia.
Talia Films.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe she.
Talia the name. I gotta believe, Hock. You're right with that. I gotta believe, like a name like Talia's, it's too coincidental. She probably got a cut of the $2 million after spending $1 million.
Maybe.
86. I mean, what was that at that time? That was like Rocky IV.
So she probably has some bank by then.
She was doing well.
Well, I guess it's about that time for fun facts.
Nice. Ooh. What do you got?
So, do you know what the original title of this was supposed to be?
Balls Out.
Balls Out. Yeah, they even mentioned that like in one of the scenes. I think. What's his name?
The sheriff?
No, Walston or whatever.
Oh, My Favorite Martian guy?
Yeah, he tells him to go balls out or something.
Nice,
like that.
Nice.
Actually, Hell Track, when the wall in the beginning that they went down, it was actually, when they made that, it was like 50 feet.
God damn.
And
people were getting all messed up on it.
Well, yeah, they said, I'm not doing it. I'm going down.
It was almost like a vertical drop.
Yes. Yeah. So all these like BMX guys were like, no, we're not freaking doing it. So they had to cut it down to 25 feet. And I guess they said they were okay with that. So, yeah, like, can you imagine a 50-foot wall on that track? It's crazy.
Yeah, it'd be crazy.
Crazy, man.
So, this one was featured on Riff Tracks Live. You ever watch that where those guys make fun of the movies, like the Mystery Science Theater guys, pretty much the same guys? I would have liked to seen that. That was in August of 2023 they did it. Because this one I think we could have fun with. Like,
didn't we go see a Riff Track one time?
We did. We saw a live Riff Track.
Who was that? What movie was that?
It was like some B horror movie or something.
But it was really good, though.
Yeah,
it was funny.
Saw one live, yeah. So was that, or Hock, you got any fun facts?
Yeah, I mean, Eddie Fiola, real BMX racer.
Yeah.
Did all the stunt work for Crew, or for Bill Allen, I guess we should say. Which I guess is why you never saw his face when he was doing all the tricks.
Makes sense.
I don't know, other than, the 20 guys that were up there, I think 19 of them were really professional BMXers.
Absolutely.
When they ran the race, it was cool to see. I didn't remember a single one of them other than, Bart.
Well, how about Mike Miranda? You know that name? I guess he was a professional.
Yeah.
Chiharo.
Yeah.
So they said he was paid $500 for every time he would fall. So during the Hell Track race, he fell 3 times. So it's $1,500.
That's
Is that the guy they commented about that?
He's down again.
Yeah.
Down again. Yeah, he's just trying to make money and shit.
Okay.
I had read someplace that while all those guys were in fact professional racers, none of them could finish Hell Track.
Oh, well, they said they had to film it in sections because it was so hard to do and stuff like that.
It just didn't look like a track that was built for like racing.
No,
yeah.
You know what I mean? For I guess Hollywood.
Yeah.
It's Hollywood. We always
the cereal. That just didn't make any sense.
That was the Kicks. Man. Kicks was buying up all that stuff.
Yeah,
how coincidental.
His friend Luke, he was the 9th Canadian, since we love Canada so much, to climb Mount Everest.
Thanks, Canada.
Oh wow, how about that?
Yeah,
congratulations,
fun
Canada.
Fact.
Oh no shit.
So a good buddy that I grew up with, and we all know him, we went to school with him, Jimmy C, we'll say.
Yep.
So I gave him a call today. I reached out to him because this kid, when we were growing up, we were all big into BMX, and he went into skateboarding like most people did. There was that transition, and so I talked to him earlier today. We had a nice conversation. I told him we're doing this movie. Shout out to Jimmy. So did you know? And he was sending me links on different things. I got a lot of cool fun facts on BMX and that whole culture and stuff. But there was actually ABA Nationals was like the kind of like what they were showing there, like the American BMX Association, whatever. They had a nationals, like a competition at the farm show back in 1984. Jimmy was there. He it sparked a memory when we were talking about it. He sent me a link. It's on YouTube. You can see this race at the farm show.
1984.
Yeah.
He was there racing as a kid?
He was pissed because he wanted in the worst way to go out and ride his bike out there.
He would have been like 8 or 9.
I was going to say, 7 or 8 maybe.
But they start racing, I think, at 6.
Yeah, but
these kids.
They wouldn't let the public, anybody out on the track or whatever. His dad took him and his brothers, I guess he was telling me, like via text. We had talked earlier and he sent me all these links. But yeah, so that was going on down at the farm show, like a similar race to this Hell Track, what you're seeing.
I think it was called Heck Track back then.
Yeah. Heck Track.
The Catholic version of
the
Heck
Catholic
Track.
version.
Yeah, the Catholic one. But I thought that was pretty interesting. And we were talking about bike culture and all that stuff growing up. Sorry, go ahead.
Reminds me of a story.
Go ahead, go for it.
You brought the Catholic thing into it. When we were kids, and I don't know if you guys did this. Let me borrow this quick.
No, go ahead.
You ever do the thing where you draw the picture on the sheet and you flip it through?
Like a.
We used to do that with little half pipes and skateboards.
Oh yeah.
With the skateboard, it's just
one
like
kid wrote Hell Track on the side of the thing,
Oh shit.
Well, yeah, and one of the nuns, I think it was in 6th grade, she came up and snatched his book from him, ripped it out, was like, "You can't write that in there," and he was.
Oh,
I don't know. I just
wow.
all came back to get like
That's
just came to
crazy.
me when you said that.
That's
awesome.
wild.
Yeah,
You sparked a memory.
From the mind of Hock.
That's what this is all about, man. Like nostalgic and sparking memories and
Yeah.
shit. So
To draw.
So funny that Bart Connor as Bart Taylor, he's known more for this movie than his Olympic gold medals.
Yeah, people go up to him all the time and stuff.
Yeah, he's like, "Aren't you from Rad?" He's like, "I'm also an Olympic gold medal
even-
medalist."
Even Shaq went up to him and said, "I loved you in Rad." It's a Shaquille O'Neal. You know what I mean?
Seriously?
Yeah, no,
It's
seriously.
like the Iron Cross, or
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
He's like, "Come on, man! I worked my ass off to be in the Olympics."
That's hilarious.
So back to the the fun facts that I was kind of talking to Jimmy, like bouncing stuff off. Here are the different bike brands that now we named a bunch of them, but a couple of these maybe you never heard of. Some of them maybe you forgot. PK Ripper, did you ever hear that one?
No,
Yeah. Hutch Trickstar.
Definitely heard of Hutch.
So Hutch was like a really, kind of I knew one kid, and that's what Jimmy, we confirmed. I was like, "Do you remember?" He's like, "Yeah, this one kid, Dave, had a Hutch Trickstar."
Yep.
And it was like, he was the only one.
I thought it was like, "Check out my hutch."
Yeah, not that kid.
Okay,
But Haro GT, which Jimmy had a GT Mach 1, which was like a
Ooh.
killer bike.
killer bike. That
Dyna-
was super expensive.
It was a nice bike.
Yeah.
So were
I got it.
They were all expensive.
They
Yeah,
were
correct.
Dyno, Diamondback,
Yep.
Raleigh,
Yeah.
the Huffy Stu Thompson. Here's one maybe you forgot about, Kuwahara,
Nope. Cool.
Japanese.
Hocker mentioned Kuwahara.
There was
Oh,
a
did you?
kid
Yeah.
that used to come to our baseball games that had, and they all had them. All
Right.
the rich kids had the flashiest bikes back then. But he had a Kuwahara that was like custom painted, and it had little like his initials like
engraved in it.
airbrushed on it. And,
Oh,
like,
nice.
sayings and stuff. It
Damn.
was really, really fly. I remember it
So
vividly.
Redline
Red Line.
and Skyway.
I don't remember Skyway.
Skyway,
The
yeah.
last two you mentioned were actually featured in this film.
Yeah, Skyway. They actually showed it in the films. Some accessories that you'd put on your bike back in the day. Number plates. So you saw that all through the movie. I remember I did that to my bike.
Yep.
We used to do this with my friends, Mr. Yuck stickers. Remember those?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Little green. We would put them on everything, but we put them on our bikes, skateboards, whatever. Odie mushroom grips. So
Yeah.
they were like handlebar grips.
I had
Remember-
mushroom grips.
Yeah.
They were the ones that were spiral cut.
They were ribbed for her
Yeah,
pleasure.
yeah.
That's right. Spiral cut.
Yeah.
That's what they were.
they were
Like a
spiral
ham.
cuts.
Yeah.
Right.
But it was for
Really
your
thin.
hands.
Yep.
So,
Now, if you remember when you would ride a bike all day long, you would get
Exactly.
calluses on your knuckles.
Sure.
So you put donut grips.
Yes,
Donuts
on the ends.
there.
Remember donuts.
You get checkerboard was the one that I always get
I had
100%.
dice on my
on your
on
valve
the
stems.
valve
That was
stems.
another one,
Yep.
yes. And that was always I did the dice as well down there. Hutch layback seat, so you had to have a layback seat.
Yeah, so it's
and I
like
think one
this.
of you said you did that.
I
Yeah, you did that.
I got a standard Huffy bike, but I
Years
bought all the
later.
accessories. Right.
yeah.
Right. So for wheels, like my bike came stock with like the kind of like a wire wheel, like the chrome, whatever. Spokes. Yeah,
Yep.
spokes. Yeah, that's right. Skyway made wheels we called them Tuffy 2s, but they were Tough 2 wheels, and they were like a star rim, and that's what you saw a lot of in that movie.
It was like a plastic mag.
right.
That's what I
used to
had.
call
I had
them
white
mags.
mags
Yeah.
on the GT.
So later on, I did that on my bike when I got a little older and saved some money up, and I tricked my bike out and got some star mags. I remember the padding that Matt you're talking about. We would replace the stock padding with like checkerboard.
Yep.
So I had a black and white.
Yep.
That was the theme of mine.
The wrap. You're saying
The wrap.
the wrap that goes around the
And
pad.
Velcro. Yeah.
Yep.
Bear trap pedals. So
Those are
you-
the ones that would dig into your shins really,
I
really bad.
remember
They were
bear trap
horrible.
pedals.
Yeah.
Fuck, those were awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you landed wrong or you even riding, if you kick back the wrong way, you're fucking your shins
Yeah,
up.
I took my plastic ones off and got white bear traps, and
Oh, yeah.
I had to take them back off because,
'Cause you
like,
were getting jacked
especially
up.
just riding, you would like kick because your sprocket, it would just kick around. There was nothing to stop it like the old bikes,
Right.
so it would always go back and hit me in the shin.
kick you. They were pretty brutal,
I
man.
bet you guys in the summer when you get tanned up still have some scarring on your shin.
Oh, I'm
Probably.
sure.
Sure.
Yeah, definitely do.
'Cause
And then
everybody got torn
Yeah.
up doing that.
oh my god. And when I was looking up accessories and talking to Jimmy. The bear traps was one of the things. And as soon as we talked about it, same thing like you said, Zap. I remember getting torn up from those spiky. And then pegs. We all put pegs
Yeah.
on our bike. And there was a set of pegs that would spin. And I don't know what really.
I don't remember those.
I never had anything like that. But and remember on the trick bikes, you could spin the handlebars all the way around.
That was a rotor.
Yeah, it was a rotor.
Yes, the rotor.
Did not have a rotor on my gooseneck Huffy.
I
No.
nor did I. My Huffy didn't work that way.
Had a GT rotor. You guys like your brake cords would get all like
it was
twisted up.
Hard dirt and jumping and stuff. I couldn't do them spin things and shit.
We're talking about all these bikes. Do you guys remember? Like I was thinking back. I have no idea what happened to my bike. Like,
oh, I do. I know what happened to mine, and I'm pissed.
Did it get
I know
stolen?
exactly what mine got stolen.
Oh wow.
Well, no, my dad sold it.
I was gonna say my mom sold everything of mine.
So I was 16. Yeah, I was 16 and driving, and my dad was cleaning stuff out and sold my bike for like $50. I came home. I was like, "Where's my mongoose at?" He's like, "Oh, I sold it. We were cleaning it out. We did like a yard sale or something." I'm like, "What?" I had like $500-$600 locked up in that bike.
Yeah, better call somebody back and get me my bike.
That's what I had. It was close to $1,000 ride snowboard, and I had like everything like tricked like for like my shoe. I had like everything with this, and I took it to New Mexico to ride there for a summer. And I was over there over the summer, rode like for that winter, and then came back home, back to PA. And my grandmother sold it at a yard sale.
God damn it.
Instead of sending it, like I was like, oh, just send it back, whenever.
Thanks,
and
Graham.
they sold it.
One other thing, and Jimmy brought this up, and I totally forgot about it. You guys remember a magazine called BMX Plus?
Sure.
And there was a character in there. It was a comic strip, Radical Rick.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, there was and it was like he brought it up and sent me a link, and I'm like, as soon as I saw it, I remembered it from BMX Plus. It was like an
Was it Jimmy C in there?
yeah, Jimmy C. It looked like Jimmy C actually.
Probably.
But yeah, it was like a cool comic strip that they put in every episode, what do you call it? Not article, but issue of BMX Plus was Radical Rick. So yeah, there was like a lot of cool things that we talked about. He did bring up a cool thing. This movie kind of, at the time it came out, BMX was kind of dying off, to be honest.
Yeah.
And there was that transition into skateboarding.
Yep.
Which I got into skateboarding, but not like most kids, like Jimmy and all them. My friends were way more into skateboarding than I was. I liked BMX because of the transportation.
Sure.
You know,
It's you killed many birds with one stone there. Look, we all know as soon as you got a bike, that was your ticket to freedom. Like you could do anything with a bike.
yeah. We would travel, all over Harrisburg with the bike and skateboard. You get tired out.
Yeah.
You skate so much.
For sure.
Walking half the time.
Yeah. Did you guys skateboard?
I got way more into skateboarding than I was into my BMX stage.
You skated?
I skated, but I was definitely more into my bike than I was into skating.
That's how I was, yeah.
Probably spent a combined 30 seconds of my life on a skateboard.
That was it, yeah.
All in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
I remember my dad didn't want me skateboarding. Like I had to really talk him into getting a skateboard because he was worried about getting hurt. Because I played football.
You're going to be in the NFL, Dave.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't you dare get hurt.
In his mind,
You're going to lose your scholarship.
Yeah, he was like, I don't want you on that. You're going to get hurt. You're going to get hurt. And I wanted one in the worst way. He finally gave in and let me get a skateboard.
No, our neighborhood was pretty into skating. Like we had dads would build we had like a little mini half. We had a couple like skate ramps that we had we put out in the middle of the road. Game on.
So we had that too. We definitely had that too. Just quarter pipes, not half pipes. So we definitely had quarter pipes, and whomever local dads would put them together, put them in the street and whatever. And we would do that. Some people would use it for both. Like if the quarter pipe was big enough, some dudes were using their bikes on it, and the other kids were using their skateboards on it.
Right. Yeah.
We used to, in our neighborhood, I lived on top of this big hill, and we used to take Mr. Zog sex wax.
Yeah, I remember.
And we
that.
put big areas of just we'd wax the street. So you would go down and you would, go to slide and stuff, and you spin around and stuff. But cars would go down and start fishtailing and stuff.
Great.
You'd be like, oh shit. My dad was out there spraying hose and everything. Goddamn kids.
You're a menace.
Menace to society.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Society misses that stuff, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think
Yeah, that was part of
I'd
being
love
a
to
kid
go out there
growing
and
up.
see kids skating in the street.
Yeah, that was good, clean fun.
I don't see kids skating anywhere anymore. I don't see kids on BMX bikes anywhere.
No.
I don't see kids doing nothing.
They're all skating, doing whatever with things over their eyeballs, virtual reality shit.
On their phones or whatever.
Yep.
else.
Yeah.
But no.
Seems to be if you're not in traveling sports and you're not doing much anymore.
Yeah.
That's what he ruined sports too. Because I remember every season you play
too
something
damn
different.
expensive.
Now everybody's just playing baseball or basketball year round, or I don't know.
One other thing we talked, Zap sent a link and we've sent links between each other, is the value of these bikes now, which is
God, yeah.
insanity. Like my bike, for instance, I looked up now, Mongoose did re-release now. You can get, which they're sold out right now. You can buy a Mongoose Californian remake. Basically they're remaking them. They're $400 or $500. But if you want an OG one, they're thousands.
Thousands.
Yeah. In the GTs, there was a Pro Performer. One of you sent was
That was mine. The lavender, the purple.
I found it and I said, because you were talking about getting one for your son.
Yeah, the one that's boxed is $8,000 or
Yeah,
something
some
crazy.
ridiculous amount.
That's goddamn ridiculous.
I did learn something because we talked about this on value.
Oh, here's one in a box, 18,000.
That's the one, yeah.
Yeah.
Boomtown.
So I learned something about the values of like we talked about Back to the Future. Somebody was selling one for 20 grand. Do you know that people put those things on eBay and it's a placeholder, they call it? So let's say like you have something that you think eventually is going to be worth something. If you put it on eBay at like a crazy value, it's never going to sell, but you'll always be the first one in order. Like when people are searching for it.
Okay.
So you put it on for 20,000, let's say Back to the Future. It's not going to sell, but you'll always be the number one search because you've been on there the longest.
Okay.
So eventually when you do sell it and you want to get top dollar, you'll be at the top. So people do it as a placeholder because you don't pay eBay until you sell.
That's quite a trick.
Yeah.
But see, kids our age now, like saying not kids our age, but guys our age now, a lot of people have jobs where they can go back and buy those things that they grew up with. So that's why people put these prices out.
Hell
Like we now have jobs. I mean, we make a living. We do this. People are like, and that's stuff that people our age spend money on now.
People are willing to pay for nostalgia.
Yes. Like I was looking back at, I had a Lance Mountain skateboard. I had a Tony Hawk Street. I had a Ray Barbie. And these were all ones that I was looking at. I wanted to put them in my basement, like, you know, like a display.
Right.
But the Lance Mountain was like 800. I was like, hell no.
For a deck.
Yeah, for a deck. Nothing even on it. It would just be like a deck sitting in my basement. I was like, I'm not paying all that.
You were a spoiled kid, Matt.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I worked a lot of jobs, man. I cut grass. I sold drugs.
You smoked grass.
Yeah, right.
I was doing a lot of shit, man.
Well, if we ever make money on the podcast, maybe we can hang a bike up here or something.
Like a nice diamond back.
Yeah, something like that.
I thought you were going to say buy some gas.
Maybe we can get gas.
Maybe we can get
You
gas.
could.
Yeah. But yeah, that was a fun one to cover for me. Like I said, I'm nostalgic on it. Shout out to my buddy Jimmy for hitting me up with some fun facts. And it was rad.
No, I enjoyed actually going to see this movie in the theater. Like I was young again, going to see a movie, excited about it, seeing it in the theater, and then bringing it to the podcast. I thought it was cool.
For sure.
Do we want to do the rating?
Yeah, I guess it's about that time. So we have what, late fee, return, or burn?
That is correct.
Right.
Yep.
So I guess you want to let Hock lead off?
Go ahead. Yeah. Hawk, what do you got? What do you like?
Hawk's going to say, let's do something new.
Yeah.
I'm watching it and I'm taking it back.
Taking it back.
So that's a
Not
return.
burning it.
Return.
Though. Okay,
Nah,
return.
not burning it.
Who wants to go?
I'll go. I would watch it, call some friends over, watch it again, maybe check it out the next morning, and then take it back.
Gotcha.
I don't want the late fee.
Absent the nostalgia aspect, I would burn this movie.
You burn it.
Oh, dear God. Only for,
Wow.
look, if it's, look.
Back then, though, remember?
So that's the thing. How do you rate this? I get it that we're supposed to rate it as if we were getting a VHS.
Right.
But now am I supposed to rate it as if I'm 10 years old watching it?
That's what I kind of did with First Blood, the last one. Like back then, I was going to return it, but now I was late feeing it. Honestly, because it's now I like appreciate it on a whole nother level. So
if I was 10 years old watching this movie back then, well, okay, I would return it.
right,
But now
you're going to burn it.
I'm going to burn the shit out of this thing.
Well, no, 10-year-old.
Thanks for the memories.
Well,
I'm keeping it.
my
That's
9-year-old
it.
me, I'm taking it to neighbors. We're dueling VCRs. I'm
Right.
dubbing it.
You're
you
dubbing,
know.
making a copy, and stuff.
like I've been saying, my 9-year-old son saw it with me in the theater, and I said, "What'd you think?" He was like, "It was pretty exciting." He was like, "It was a pretty cool movie." And I was
liked
like,
it.
"Okay." And he's 9,
right.
and he's just like into bikes a little bit, not really how we were. You know what I mean? Like he
Right.
rides his bike from point A to point B,
Right.
but he's not like trying to run over any jumps or anything. But what did you're with your older son? What did he think of it?
Yeah, he was like, it was good. He liked it. Like,
Okay.
he appreciates like older cinema like that. Like he can appreciate it. A lot of the horror movies he likes. Like this movie, I told him, I said, Ethan, it's going to be kind of corny.
Yeah, it's
But
corny in
whatever.
a cool kind of way.
But for me back then, I'm late feeing it, and now I'm returning it. Like I watched it, and it was just cool for the nostalgic.
There it
back
is.
There. But
It's worth Laughlin alone.
yeah,
Who was
yeah.
not ugly in this, by the way?
No, my
No,
gosh,
no, no.
she's
She's
never.
not. She's
yeah.
not ugly. No.
She's a very good looking
She's
woman.
very good looking.
Mm.
Becky?
Rocket Queen.
Becky, Rocket Queen, yeah.
It was a simultaneous.
That
Yeah.
was.
No, you're Rocket Queen.
But yeah, Hock, thanks again, man, for hanging out with us. It was good to have a
Yeah.
class of '94 classmate in the house.
Oh yeah,
Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
P.S.
Yeah.
Gentle reminder,
It's
since
fun.
we're going back to nostalgia, we've known each other, all of us, despite, so like Matt and I go back a little bit further, but basically we've all known each other about 33 and a half years.
Yeah,
Dear
it's
God.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hock, I vividly remember, I think it was freshman year you lived in Lingelstown Road, on Lingelstown Road, near
Yes,
the
sir.
square, correct?
Yep.
So it was your house. And I think, Zap, you said you were there too. He had like a party, like over the weekend, I remember Metallica, that album that just came out, the Black Album, that was like a big deal. And I remember
it was my birthday.
Yeah.
your birthday.
for
And
sure.
I remember
16th
that.
birthday
For sure.
party,
Yeah. Now we met each other through football.
Well, I met you in the 8th grade at the All-Star game.
That's that's right. Yeah, I forgot about that. Then we did meet before that, but
Man, I met at weight training pre-9th.
Pre-ninth grade, yeah.
yeah, that's right. We played on the East Shore.
I still got that black
the black and
jersey
orange.
with I still have that shit.
I
You
don't
put
know
it
what
on,
happened
it's
to
all
mine.
tight now. You don't realize how little you were back then?
I know. I like to dig
I was
mine
on.
out.
I was on vacation. That's why they took some
Yeah.
other kid.
You didn't make it in.
No, I was there. I made it, but we were at the shore.
Seven Sorrows, man.
Yeah.
Was
Yeah,
it?
we were at the shore, man.
You played
Eagles.
for St. Mags.
St.
Green and
Mags,
gold.
yeah.
We won that game.
That's
beat
right,
the
we
shit
did
out
win.
of that West squad. I
We
remember
did.
that. We had
We
all
tore
them
'em
kids
up.
from the East Shore.
That helped.
Remember that?
The East Shore Royals did not count. Like
He came out. Dude had a quarterback had a mustache.
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember we were weigh-ins. The one kid from East Shore had like chest hair. I was like, "How's this kid in 7th grade, man? Come on!"
We didn't care. He was on our street.
Like he's telling his kids to get back. He's like, "Hey, man, get back."
Well, I remember we played East Shore down in City Island, and one kid pulled up in a car. We were like, what the hell's going on?
God damn.
He got his shoulder pads out of the
Shoulder
back.
pads out of the back.
Yeah. It was a
That's
different
funny.
time.
We're all riding. Like, remember riding to practice, like on your bike?
Oh, yeah.
Shoulder pads, helmet hanging off the side. That was fun.
That was late 80s, but
No kids. I don't see any kids doing that anymore.
no.
Everybody's getting dropped off.
Oh, God forbid you couldn't do that to your kid. You'd be neglecting. What do you mean you can't
they had
provide
the-
your child?
oh, you-
ride
Yeah.
He's going to be tired when he gets to practice. You can't
Cow.
do that.
What are the parents
Right.
doing?
But at any rate, this was a fun one. We hope you enjoyed it. Speaking of which, if you are, leave that 5-star rating on Spotify, Apple. You can leave a written review. Find us on social media as well, at Old Dirty Basement. And I guess that's it for now. So we'll catch you where?
On the flip side,
If we don't see you sooner, we'll see you later.
peace. Thanks for listening to The Vintage Cinema Review in the Old Dirty Basement. If you dig our theme music like we do, check out the Tsunami Experiment. Find them on Facebook. Their music is streaming on Spotify and Apple, and where great music is available.
You can find us at Old Dirty Basement on Facebook and Instagram, and at Old Dirty Basement Podcast on TikTok.
Peace.
We Audi 5000.